You are lying in a small room at the top of a narrow staircase. The staircase turns once on its way up, and at the turn there is a small table with a lamp on it. The lamp is on. It has a green glass shade and a brass base that is slightly tarnished with a patina that is built up over years of being touched by hands that were not always perfectly dry. The light it gives is warm and yellow, and it reaches up the last few steps to the landing where your door is, but it does not reach under the door into the room where you are lying. That is all right. You do not need it to. You have the dark, and the blanket, and the pillow, and the sound of the radiator ticking. You are here because tomorrow you will be present for a long time in front of people. You have already begun that work tonight, lying very still, quietly running it through, a sentence tried 2 ways, a reaction checked. That is a conscientious thing to be doing. It is also an exhausting way to spend a night. You do not have to become sleepy for this to be worth putting on. If sleep does not come for a while, the hours are a decent place to be anyway. For now, there is nothing you need to do. If these nights are any use to you, you are warmly invited to subscribe, perhaps tomorrow when you are awake. For now, there is nothing you need to do. The room is not large. There is a bed with a metal frame that does not creak, and a chair with wooden arms where you have hung your coat, and a small nightstand with a glass of water on it. The water is still. The surface is flat and unbroken. The glass is heavy, with a thick bottom that makes it stable on the wood. The radiator beneath the window is painted white, and it is ticking as it cools. The sound is regular, but not predictable. It ticks, and then it does not tick, and then it ticks again. You might be thinking about tomorrow. That is all right. The building does not mind what you think about. The radiator ticks again. The window above it has a blind that is pulled 3/4 of the way down. Through the gap at the bottom, you can see a piece of the sky. It is overcast, dark gray, giving back no light from the city below or from the moon above. The window catch is brass. You can see the shape of it in the dark, but not the color. You know it is brass because you touched it earlier, when you opened the window to let in the air, and it was cold and smooth and heavy in your hand. Your hand remembers that. Your body remembers small things like that. The floor is wooden. It is old wood, laid down a long time ago, before the building was a gallery, when it was perhaps a house or an office. The boards are wide, and they meet each other with lines that are not perfectly straight. They smell of floor wax. The wax was applied this afternoon, or perhaps yesterday, by a cleaner who moved slowly through the rooms with a bucket and a cloth, and the smell has been sitting in the room since then, getting flatter and softer as the hours pass. It is a sweet smell, but not like food. It is the smell of maintenance, of care taken slowly, without rush, by someone who knew they would not be watched while they worked. It is in the room with you, and you do not need to do anything about it. It does not require a reaction. It is simply the smell of the floor at night in a closed building. You are allowed to be here exactly as you are, tense or softening or somewhere between, awake or drifting or not sure which. The building does not need you to be any particular way. The radiator ticks. The building below you is an art gallery. It is closed now. It closed at the usual time, when the woman at the front desk turned the key in the lock and pulled down the blinds over the glass doors. She checked her bag for her keys and her phone, and she left. The last visitors left before her. They put on their coats in the foyer, and they walked out onto the street, and they went home, or to restaurants, or to other places. The lights in the galleries were turned off, one switch after another, by the woman at the desk, or perhaps by the attendant, and the rooms went dark in sequence. Now the only light is the lamp at the turn of the stair, and the small glow from the emergency exit sign over the door at the far end of the hall, which is green and steady, and which will stay green and steady all night. The night attendant is here. He has been here since closing. He is making his round. He wears shoes with felt soles. They make a brushing sound on the wooden stairs as he climbs. He is not in a hurry. He has done this many times before. He has a clipboard under his arm, wooden, with a metal clip at the top that holds the paper. The paper is a form, printed with lines and boxes. He has a pencil with a worn-down eraser tucked behind his ear. The pencil is yellow, with a silver band holding the eraser, and the wood is chipped near the writing end from being sharpened with a knife rather than a sharpener. He has a torch that he points at the floor. It is a heavy torch, black, with a rubber grip. He points it at the floor so he does not trip on the edges of the rugs that lie on the wooden floors in the galleries, or on the threshold of the door that leads to the supply closet, or on the step that is slightly higher than the others at the bottom of the flight. He stops at the landing outside your door You can hear him set his clipboard down on the small table. It makes a soft sound, wood on wood, a small impact that is absorbed by the old wood. He picks up the torch and turns it off. The click is small and definite, a plastic switch moving into place. Then he picks up the humidity box. It is a metal case, small enough to fit in one hand, with a glass front and a dial inside. The dial has a needle that points to a number. The numbers are printed in black on a white face. He holds the box up toward the light from the lamp at the turn of the stair. He tilts it to read the number. He holds it steady for a moment, confirming, making sure he is reading it correctly in the dim light. Then he sets it down on the table, carefully, so it does not slip. He picks up his clipboard. He writes the number down on the sheet. The pencil makes a scratching sound. It is a soft sound, the felt soles brushing wood. The radiator is metal contracting. He writes the number in the box that corresponds to the time, and then he writes a small check mark beside it. The check mark means he has seen it, and it is within the range it is supposed to be. If it were not, he would write a note, but it is, so he does not. He puts the pencil back behind his ear. He tries the window catch with his thumb. The window is to his left, at the end of the landing. It is a tall window with small panes of glass separated by strips of wood. The catch is brass and cold, and it moves under his hand. It clicks shut. He does not look out the window. He does not look at the glass or at what is beyond it. He is not checking the view. He is checking that the building is closed, that the air inside will stay the way it is meant to stay, that nothing from outside will come in. He is checking that the latch holds, that the window is secure, that the building is doing its job of being closed. It holds. It is secure. He moves his hand away. The brass is warm now, where his thumb was. He sits for a moment on the top step, not because he is tired, not because he needs rest, simply because there is time, and the night is long, and there is no reason not to sit. The step is wooden, worn in the middle where feet have passed. He sits with his clipboard on his knee. He does not look at his phone. He does not check the time. He simply sits and breathes and listens to the building around him. The radiator ticks somewhere above. A floorboard settles. The building makes small sounds, the sounds of a large thing holding still. He is holding still with it. You are holding still with it. Two people in two different ways, simply being in the building at night. There is no hurry. There is no next thing that must happen. The sitting is enough. The being here is enough. After a while, he stands. The felt soles brush against the wood. He picks up his clipboard. He continues his round. Downstairs, the long rooms where the pictures hang are completely dark. You cannot see them from where you are, but you know they are there. The frames are on the walls, hanging from wires that are attached to rails near the ceiling. The wires are tight. They do not sway. The frames are rectangular or square or sometimes round, but you cannot see them. You can only know that they are there, occupying their space. The label cards are straight, small rectangles of paper or metal that sit beside the frames, identifying what is hung there. But nobody is standing in front of them, reading those names. Nobody is tilting their head to catch the light that is not there. Nobody is deciding what they think about what they see. That stopped hours ago. It stopped when the blinds were pulled down. It stopped on a schedule, the way it stops every night of the year, the way the heating is turned down at a certain hour, and the way the lights are turned off. Being looked at is something this building does between certain hours. It is a scheduled activity, like the arriving of the mail or the boiling of the kettle in the staff room, or the waxing of the floors. It happens, and then it stops happening. It does not carry over into the night. It does not accumulate. The pictures are not waiting to be seen. They are simply hanging there in the dark, occupying the space they occupy, the same as the dust sheets folded on the bench in the corner of the room you are in, or the stepladder standing against the wall where the attendant left it after changing a bulb this afternoon. They are not working tonight. Nothing in here is working tonight. The looking is done until morning, and nothing in the building is any different for the hours it spends unlooked at. The paint does not change. The canvas does not tighten or loosen. The frames stay square. The wires stay tight. The night does not damage them, and it does not improve them. It simply holds them the way the blanket holds you, without commentary, without judgment, without requirement. The attendant walks down the stairs. The felt soles brush against the wood. He goes into the east gallery. You can hear his footsteps moving through the rooms below, though the sound is muffled by the floors between you and by the rugs that absorb the sound. He is walking slowly. He stops in each room. He checks the humidity box there, placing it on a small table or holding it in his hand under the light of his torch if the room is too dark for the lamp to reach. He checks the lock on the window, or he moves a dust sheet that is slipped from a bench. The dust sheets are large, made of canvas, and they are meant to cover the benches so that no one sits on them, or to cover the small tables that hold the brochures. He folds the dust sheet again, twice, along the same creases that were in it before, and he lays it back down. The fabric is heavy and canvas-colored. It makes no argument about being folded. It is not tired. It is not relieved. It is simply a dust sheet, folded, waiting for morning, doing its job of being ready. He checks the back door, the one that leads to the small garden behind the building. The garden is dark now. There are plants there, but he does not look at them. The bolt is across. It is a heavy iron bolt, painted black. He tries it with his hand. It does not move. It is solid. He does not go outside. There is no reason to go outside. He turns back. His torch beam moves across the floorboards, not up at the walls. He is looking for scuff marks, or a dropped leaflet, or the glint of a coin that someone might have lost from a pocket while putting on their coat. He is looking for the practical things that might need to be noted, the small disruptions that might need to be fixed. He is not looking at the pictures. He does not shine his torch on the canvases. He does not need to know what they mean, or whether they are beautiful, or how they make him feel. That is not his work tonight. His work is the humidity, and the catches on the windows, and the locks on the doors, and the pencil marks on the sheet. His work is the maintenance of the building while it is not being looked at, while it is simply being closed. Your work, if it is work, is different. Your work is simply to be here, to let the night hold you, to let the blanket hold you, to let your body settle into the bed inch by inch without requiring any particular result. The air in your room is still. It is warm enough. The heating is low but steady, and the air does not move much. It is thick in a pleasant way, the way air is when it has been sitting in a room for hours without a draft. It smells of old wood and the slight metallic tang of the radiator paint and floor wax. It is a smell that does not ask anything of you. It is simply there in the dark, keeping you company without requiring a response. It was here before you came up the stairs, and it will be here after you have stopped noticing it. Nothing about it changes while you lie there. It is not waiting for anything from you. The radiator ticks again. The metal contracts. The sound is small and definite. And then there is silence again. And then the sound comes back. It is not a rhythm you need to follow. It is not a metronome. It is just the building settling, giving up the heat of the day inching toward the temperature of the night outside. You have the blanket pulled up. It is heavy, or perhaps it is light, but you have pulled it tight. You can feel the weight of it on your shoulders, on your chest. The weight is steady. It does not shift. It holds you down gently, the way the night holds the building. The pillow is the kind that gives way slowly. It does not spring back when you lift your head. It accepts the shape of your head and holds it, cradles it, keeps it steady. There is no gap between you and the pillow. It meets you completely. The sheet beneath you is smooth, cool at first, and warm now, all the way down. You are simply heavy on it, the whole length of you. The fabric slides slightly when you move, but you do not need to move. You can simply be on it. The chair with your coat on it is near the door. You can see the darker shape of it against the lighter dark of the wall. The coat is hanging over the back of the chair, the arms folded over the front, the collar turned up slightly where you dropped it. It will be there in the morning. Nothing will happen to it during the night. The building is locked. The attendant has checked the locks. The windows are latched. The dust sheets are folded. The humidity is within the range. The building is holding itself together, and you are inside it, and the night is holding you both. He comes back up the stairs. The felt soles brush against the wood. He stops at the landing outside your door. He does not knock. He does not know you are awake, and it is not his business to know. He picks up the humidity box again. He checks it one more time, or perhaps he checks a different one that sits on the shelf near the door, a backup or a double check. He holds it to the light. He writes another number on his sheet. The pencil scratches. He moves the stepladder a few inches so that it sits perfectly flush against the wall. He does this with one hand, easily, holding the clipboard in the other. The ladder is aluminum and light, and it makes a soft clink when it touches the plaster. It is stable now. It will not fall. It does not need to be watched. It is just a ladder, being in the right place. He turns the lamp at the turn of the stair down to its lowest setting. The brass knob turns, and the filament inside dims. The green glass shade glows softer, a deep ember color. It gives just enough light for him to see his way down without stumbling, but not enough to reach up and disturb the dark under the door of your room. He does not turn it off. He leaves it on, burning low, the way it has been left every night. It is a small, steady thing, like the radiator ticking, like the humidity box sitting in its place, like the dust sheets folded on the bench. It does not need anything from you. It simply stays. He goes down the stairs. The felt soles brush softer and softer. You hear the heavy door at the bottom open. The hinges make a sound, low and long, a sustained note. Then the door closes. The latch clicks. The lock turns. The key is in his pocket now. He is walking away, down the street, or perhaps to his car. The building is still. The radiator ticks. The lamp burns low. The pictures hang in the dark. The dust sheets are folded. The stepladder is against the wall. The humidity box has been checked twice. The floor wax sits on the wood. The building is closed. Now it is only you and the building and the radiator ticking and the lamp at the turn of the stair. The room is warm. The blanket is heavy. The pillow holds you. The chair with your coat on it stands by the door. The glass of water is still on the nightstand. The window catch is brass. The blind is 3/4 down. The sky outside is overcast. The wood smells of wax. The air is still. Nothing in the building is being looked at tonight. The looking stopped on schedule, and it will resume on schedule. And between now and then, nothing is required to be seen. The dust sheets are folded. The stepladder is against the wall. The humidity box has been checked. The floor wax sits on the wood. The radiator ticks. The lamp burns. The night is long. You can sleep, or you can lie awake. The story does not mind. The lamp will stay on. The radiator will tick. The building will remain closed. Nothing will be looked at until morning. You do not have to finish the story to know how it ends. The building stays warm. The night goes on. The hours pass without being read. The pictures hang in the dark. The frames are square. The wires are tight. The floor is wooden. The blanket is warm. The air smells of wax. The attendant has gone home. The building is still. The lamp is on at the turn of the stair. Everything that needs to be held is held. Everything that needs to wait is waiting. You can let the story go now. It will keep going without you. The radiator ticks. The lamp burns. The night is long. The building is still. You are lying in a small room at the top of the stairs. The blanket is pulled up. The pillow is soft. The room is warm. The door is closed. The attendant has written his numbers. The windows are latched. The dust sheets are folded. The looking is done until morning. Sleep or don't. The building doesn't mind. The story doesn't mind. The lamp stays on. The radiator ticks. The night is not interested in what you look like, or what you are thinking, or what you were rehearsing an hour ago. It has no opinion about any of it. It simply keeps the building closed, and you are inside it. It simply keeps you. That is all. That is enough. You are heavy now, all of you at once. The blanket presses down. The pillow has taken your shape. It keeps it. Somewhere below, the humidity box sits on its shelf. The needle points to a number. The number is fine. It has been checked. Nothing is expected of you here. Nothing is being asked. The lamp at the turn of the stair, green glass, brass base, still warm from being touched. The building is quiet. Nothing in it is being looked at. The dust sheets, folded. The step ladder against the wall. The radiator, warm, held. Night.